Hello, I'm Gareth Jones alongside Katherine and Hannah. Welcome to our preview video for Leeds United against Cardiff City at Elland Road on Saturday. Katherine, you've been up at the Neil Redfearn press conference this week ahead of that game. Firstly, team news. Who's in, who's out?
Main bits of team news. It looks like Giuseppe Bellusci is going to be available again. There was quite some discussion about the reason for his absence on Monday, but Neil Redfearn said that he'd had a slight calf strain and a slight hamstring strain. Okay, so he should be available again for the weekend, he was hoping. The other big one is Lewis Cook, who's been a real miss for the last couple of games. Doesn't look like he's going to be rushed back. He's still recuperating from that ankle ligament damage, so he's unlikely to be back for Cardiff. And other than that, I think pretty much everybody's fit. Obviously, Austin's still suspended, so that's an issue as well.
What do you think he'll do at the back then? Because Cooper's probably the kind of person you want in the Leeds United team, but actual playing-wise at the moment, Bellusci is probably the better defender. So what would you do?
It's a really tricky one, that. I think Bellusci blotted his copybook with quite a lot of people at the last home match against Blackburn. Seemingly quite a poor attitude, straight off down the tunnel at the end of the game. However, for my money, I think that partnership with him and Bamba prior to Blackburn has been the more effective one. I do like Liam Cooper. I've got a lot of time for him, but it just seems to work better for some reason, Bamba and Bellusci together. So I would expect that if he's fit, he'd probably go back to Bellusci again.
And overall, what was the demeanour at the Thorpe Arch when you were there at the press conference? Because there is still so much going on there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm terrible at reading body language, and we've put the Facebook preview of Neil Redfearn, and there was at least one person who said, oh, he looks really fed up. I didn't get that sense at all. He seemed to be in quite good spirits. He reiterated again that he's definitely going to be there till at least the end of the season. And then beyond that, he didn't really want to talk about his contract situation, but just said, look, it will be sorted in due course. But yeah, very determined, very defiant that he wants to just carry on doing his job. He's not trying to get distracted by all the talk that's going on, all the speculation about his future and that of some of his best young players as well. An awful lot of talk this week, not least one of the national papers, the Daily Star, talking about a 50k bonus should Leeds get into the top half and finish 12th or higher. Just says, I'm trying to ignore all of that. I'm just getting on with my job. I've got a duty to the players that are here, to the fans, to Leeds United as a football club. He's getting his head down and just getting on with things, and what goes beyond that is anybody's guess.
Well, let's hear from the man himself, Leeds United head coach Neil Redfearn. This is what he makes to Cardiff.
I think that there's a bit of rivalry between the two clubs, you can tell, and obviously we want to do well. We want to try and get back on winning ways. You know, we've had two half-decent performances, you know, from the two defeats, even though we've got beat. I thought we played well in the first half against Blackburn, and the sending off made a big difference. And I thought at Wolves, the comeback was tremendous to get back to 3 apiece. You know, and really in the game we should get something out of in the end. So the spirit's there, you know, and there's been some good things. You know, even though we've got beat, but we want to try and get back to winning ways. You know, we used to get winning, we used to get in his own way, we used to get in results now. So it'll be something we're looking to do against Cardiff.
And whenever it's Leeds United at home, no matter who the opponent, there's no such thing as a dead rubber, is there? But particularly against Cardiff, so long overdue a win against them.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be the bogey side, you know, for Leeds in recent seasons, and but you know, we've just got to make sure that we do the right things, that we play as well as we can. You know, that we play the occasion, that we play, you know, we know we'll have the crowd behind us again, you know, we'll have the crowd up for it. You know, we'll want the crowd, we want to win, we want to win, and we'll make sure that we're front foot, and if we do that, then we've got a good chance of getting a result.
So Neil Redfearn's thoughts on Cardiff for Saturday's game at Elland Road. Before we talk about them, just something you mentioned a moment ago, Katherine, that national newspaper story about the bonus he would get. The story seemed to be kind of anti-Redfearn, like he was quite money-grabbing, but I think that was very, very harsh. What do you think?
It was a strange one, and you can read it in two different ways, but it seemed to be suggesting that, oh, well, he's not going to walk away, he's not going to resign because, you know, financial implications. But when you're talking about the grand scheme of football, I'm not sure what contract Neil Redfearn's on, but I'm guessing it's not a lot. And is a 50k bonus for finishing in the top half of the table really that astronomical? And isn't he well within his rights after everything he's done at that club this season to say, well, yeah, that is part of the reason I'm going to stick it out, because I've worked really hard and I've earned that. I just felt reading that particular piece that it could be seen as quite a derogatory thing, that, oh, he's money grabbing, he should be walking away. And actually, that's not really the reading of it at all. And when you look at some of the other clubs in the Championship, the likes of Steve McLaren, I'm guessing former England manager, is on a small fortune compared to what Redfearn's earning. So, but I don't think it's the money issue for Redfearn at all. It's the pride and the passion for the club.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if you know him or you know your history of the club and history of him and the clubs he's been at, you know it's not about money, it's about the football, the passion for it that it has at the club. So Cardiff, finally, a team that Leeds just cannot beat. Is this the time? Does it have to be the time? Because people are starting to not worry but get frustrated after 2 defeats and all the off-the-field upheaval. Yeah,
it would be nice and everybody would feel a lot more positive if they could beat Cardiff. I think it's 31 years since Leeds have last beaten Cardiff. They're such a bogey team for whatever reason. But just to get that feel-good factor back, which we had prior to the Blackburn game, prior to the Wolves match, it has kind of come off the rails a little bit for circumstances off the pitch, but also 2 very difficult teams to beat as well. But if they could get back to winning and really try and finish the season on a high, and beating Cardiff would definitely help with that for a lot of Leeds United fans.
So join Katherine, Hannah, Noel Whelan and Adam Plote for exclusive FM commentary of Leeds against Cardiff Saturday from 2 o'clock on BBC Radio Leeds 92.4 FM and Freeview channel 719. And look out around 1 o'clock for our preview Periscope live from Elland Road, live video streaming via Twitter, previewing the game with the trio as well. So we'll speak to you on Saturday.